also use the virtual background. Thank you. Once again, I would like to ask all participants to turn on the camera and also use your virtual background. We have shared the virtual background on the chat box. You may find out the virtual background in the chat box. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, all participants, a very good afternoon. Here in Indonesia, it's 3 p.m. and I think in Singapore it's now 4 p.m. So I would like to welcome our honorable speaker, the Senior Manager of Product of Genie Books Singapore, Mr. Mark Ashworth. Hello, Mr. Mark.
Hi.
Hi,
thank you very much for hosting me today.
Yeah, thank you for joining us as well. And also I would like to welcome all participating companies, Telkom University community member, and also all the respectable participants of today's webinar. I'm Afri from the International Office, and we are very pleased to welcome all of you to Tel-U Virtual Career Days 2021. And this event is supported by PT Paragon, Aruna Indonesia, Bank BRI, PT Pegadaian, and PT Telkom Indonesia. So ladies and gentlemen, before we start today's webinar, we would like to invite you to take a look on the video of our Telkom University Mars.
Telkom University, sinergi bangun negeri, maju dalam ilmu pengetahuan, satukan tekad bersama, padukan langkah, bawa bangsa menuju garis depan. Raih cita, rajuk asa, sing-singkan lemah, tingkatkan inovasi, unggul dan berprestasi, semua demi keluhuran bangsa, masyarakat adil makmur sejahtera. Laksanakan pendidikan dengan semangat pengabdian, ciptakan kehidupan gemilang. Telkom University, kebanggaan pertiwi, maju dengan karya, berperan bagi bangsa, bagi Indonesia, bagi dunia. Telkom University, kebanggaan pertiwi, maju dengan karya, berperan bagi Indonesia, bagi dunia. Bagi dunia.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us watching on the video. Now I would like to invite all of you to turn on the camera because we're going to have the photo session before we start today's webinar. So kindly turn on your camera. Yes, thank you. So maybe I will count until 3, and we have 3 slides here. So I'm going to start with the first slide. So you can use your best smile, best pose. Okay, I'm going to take the photo. I'll start counting. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the second slide. Put your best smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the last slide. Yes, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much. So now we have several informations that we would like to inform you. So kindly, yeah, thank you so much. Mr. Mark, I'm going to use Bahasa Indonesia here. I hope you don't mind, because I'm going to give some information for the participants. So, Telkom University Virtual Career Day akan dilaksanakan mulai hari ini, tanggal 6 sampai tanggal 10 September 2021, di mana di dalamnya akan ada beragam kegiatan, termasuk Internship Expo, Career Expo, Branding, Entrepreneur Expo, dan juga Scholarship Expo. Akan ada banyak sekali company yang berpartisipasi di acara kali ini. Di antaranya ada Paragon, Aruna, Datacom, JDID, Bank BRI, Mandiri, Pegadaian, Smash, Warrek, Huawei, dan beberapa perusahaan lainnya yang kalian bisa ikuti atau jika kalian berkesempatan untuk apply ya di perusahaan-perusahaan tersebut. Next. Dan hari ini kita akan ada sesi webinar dengan Mark Ashworth. Beliau adalah Senior Manager of Product dari leading EdTech company in Singapore, di Singapura, name Genie. Nama perusahaannya adalah Genie Book. So, semoga kalian semua bisa mengikuti kegiatan hari ini dari awal sampai akhir, karena kita akan ada selain tentunya informasi dari Genie Book itu sendiri, dari perusahaan Genie Book, kita juga akan menyediakan 3 door prize, di mana masing-masing akan mendapatkan Rp50.000 dalam bentuk link aja. So make sure you participate from the beginning until the end of this event. Next. Ya, selanjutnya kita juga ada kegiatan endowment fund. Apa itu endowment fund? Merupakan dana abadi atau wakaf yang dihimpun dan dikumpulkan dari sejumlah donor maupun perusahaan untuk menjamin keberadaan, keberlanjutan, reputasi kampus dalam jangka waktu panjang. Manfaatnya akan banyak sekali, diantaranya adalah untuk beasiswa pendidikan, penelitian, kemudian kebijakan endowment lainnya, sarana dan prasarana. Siapa aja yang bisa kontribusi silahkan untuk sivitas akademika Telkom University itu sendiri, industri ataupun alumni, dan juga masyarakat umum. Jika rekan-rekan semua ingin bergabung dalam endowment fund atau berpartisipasi dalam program endowment fund, silahkan bisa mentransfer ke nomor rekening Mandiri yang tertera di layar ataupun melalui Bank Syariah Indonesia. Lanjut ya. Ya, dan di akhir kegiatan webinar hari ini, kami akan meminta rekan-rekan semua, all the participants to fill out di alumni survey, linknya nanti akan kami share juga di chat box di akhir acara, dan juga link feedback untuk kegiatan webinar hari ini. Berikut rangkaian acara Tel-U Virtual Career Days yang akan dimulai hari ini, tanggal 6 September, dan berakhir di tanggal 13 September. So make sure, pastikan kalian bisa berpartisipasi di semua kegiatan webinar ini, karena akan banyak sekali informasi, banyak sekali knowledge yang akan kalian dapatkan di setiap sesi webinar. Ya, itu tadi beberapa informasi, and ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, may we request the Senior Manager of Product of Genie Books Singapore, Mr. Mark Ashworth, to start the presentations on Get On Board with Singapore's leading EdTech company, Genie. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Mark.
Terima kasih. Thank you very much. I will share my screen now, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah. I have to say that I was really impressed with your university song just then. I was not expecting that. That was lovely. Kudos to all the people that made that. That was amazing. I liked it very much. Okay, so hello, everybody. My name is Mark Ashworth. I am the Senior Product Manager at a company called Genie Book in Singapore. We're roughly a startup, but we've grown to around 300 people right now. We have offices in Singapore, Surabaya, Indonesia, and Vietnam, and we are growing. And today, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our company and what we do, as well as share some of the positions that we are looking for to hire people in this coming year. And I hope you can also check out our website after this, which is geniebook.com, and we have some positions listed on there too. We're very active on LinkedIn as well. So if you have LinkedIn, I hope you can find Genie Book on LinkedIn and you can learn more about our company there. So my name is Mark Ashworth. I am the Senior Product Manager at Genie Book. I've been with the company for 2 years. The company has existed a few more years before that. And what we do is education technology. So like I say, we have a presence in Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. And the heart of our project, what we do is we have an AI backend. So it uses a lot of machine learning to determine what are the things that students should be working on. And the premise of our company and the whole ethos for Genie Book is, you imagine if you can help students to learn 10 times faster, or even 1,000 times faster than they've ever learned before. Is it imaginable? At Genie Book, we believe that's possible, and we believe we can do that by harnessing AI and harnessing machine learning to help students do that. And it's been a very good thing for me to work at this company so far, because I see that what I do, it actually has an impact on students. You know, I'm everything that we do and everything that we put into the system, you know, we can actually monitor and we can look and say, hey, that's actually helped students and it's made a difference in their lives. And if you see our Facebook reviews and our reviews online, we actually get a lot of good feedback from that. So it's a very heartwarming thing to be able to do that and to harness technology and come from a technology standpoint and do this. It's something that we do. So like I mentioned, this slide says the same thing. So this is how we started. We started with worksheets. And you'll find that, you know, in school, you're doing the same worksheets over and over again, and you're answering the same questions over and over again. So what our AI does is something like Netflix. We find out, you know, what are the subjects that you're really strong in? And we put those to one side. We say, okay, you're strong with those. What are the subjects that you're weak in and you need some help? We identify that through machine learning, and we identify that at the whole kind of the classroom level as well. So our teachers can change the worksheets and adapt worksheets based on strengths and weaknesses. So that was our beginning. And since then, we've added in new features to our system as well. So we've added in a social learning aspect. So students can learn from each other and help each other out in class. And it gives students a very big sense of pride, being the first one to figure out how to answer a question, and then being the first one to share with the other students, like, hey, this is how I answered it. And, you know, I'm now the teacher, I can help you all. So we've added social learning in. And another big part of our system that we've added is online lessons, live online lessons. So we're able to deliver lessons to 50 to 200 students at a time. And we use our machine learning to learn about the progress and the strengths and the weaknesses of the students in the classroom, in the online classroom. So our teachers can then adapt their lesson to the students, and it becomes a very, very personalized learning experience for them. And this covers anything from, in Singapore, we call it primary and secondary. So it covers anything from primary 1 to secondary 4, which is the grade level, you know, from 7 years old to 15, 16 years old. So our founders, based in Singapore, 2 Singaporeans, very, very smart people. I know I work for the company, and you know, I'm bound to say that, but I've not worked with a better set of people that really challenge me to get the best out of myself on a weekly basis. And I've grown a lot in this company. You know, I had a very long working experience before here, but I think here is where I've really, really started to grow at an incredible rate. And I think that's the ethos of the company as well, is enabling everyone to grow into a place where they really want to be, and accelerating that. Because at the end of the day, Genie Book is all about accelerating learning. So it's not just for our students, but it's for our staff as well. And we hope that everyone can grow here. So yeah, the two founders started in this business many years ago. Actually, they started as private tuition teachers, and they were very successful at that. And then they founded live tuition center, actually in classroom tuition centers. So we had physical centers all over Singapore, and we learned a lot from that. And it eventually turned into a product that we could actually commercialize and take to the market, and something that parents really ask for, and that students really enjoy doing. Yeah, so this is what we have. We publish sharper performance through technology, through classrooms, which can be online, and through our content. So a lot of our AI work is actually based on sifting the content and the questions that we're asking students. And then our AI is able to tell, was this a good question that we asked students? Did this question help the student to improve? If the question doesn't help the student to improve, we put it to one side and we push a better question to them. And through years and years of doing that, with millions of data points, we've been able to come up with a system that really works and helps students sharpen their performance. And through that, our team of data scientists can verify this number, that 90% of the students that are actually using Genie Book have improved after 8 worksheets. So this is something that we're really quite proud of. And at this moment, we have over 100,000 students, and maybe the slide is a bit out of date. We actually have 150,000 on our system right now, and they're all benefiting from this. So innovation is the core of our system. So I mentioned just now that we have the worksheets, which was the base of Genie. And we realized that that's good, but some learners are more visual, and they need the interactive interaction with a real teacher. So we launched our online lessons, which we call Genie Class. And this is assisted by a teacher, but the teacher can see on their back end what is the understanding and what is the learning points of every student, so they can adapt the lesson as the lesson goes by. And we're quite proud of how we're doing this. We enable the parents to have a app so that they can see the progress of their child, but we use this internally as well to make sure that every student is improving. We provide solutions, we provide videos, we provide all the all-in-one learning tool for students to improve. As you can see, we're all about student improvement. I mentioned that very many times so far. The interface at the moment, it looks okay. It's not too bad. We have employed some UI UX designers recently, and we're possibly looking for more. This is something that children really like. We have a live reward store. So when the students actually do their activity on Genie Book and they're answering questions, something we call bubbles, which is essentially our reward points.
Hello, Mark, are you still with us?
Hello, hi. I think my connection just dropped then.
Okay.
I'm back.
Yes.
Yeah, we're all here. Great. So mentioning about our reward system. So as the students are doing their questions in and doing their answers and worksheets in eBook and attending online lessons and participating in the lessons, they collect something we call bubbles. And when they collect enough bubbles, they can turn those bubbles into real world prizes. So this kind of that we have is, in a way, it's like an e-commerce store for children. So they will earn the bubbles will be in their wallet, and then they can turn those bubbles into real prizes. So we'll send them anything from, let's say, Shopee, Lazada, Tokopedia, even e-vouchers like online games. They can earn points for this. So that's quite a good part of our system. And our story so far is all over Singapore, not so much over Indonesia yet. Some people that we may find today hopefully we can change this. So we're now expanding to across the world. So we're quite well positioned in Singapore, and we have a strong team here. As you can see by some of our, the Straits Times, if you don't know, is the largest national newspaper in Singapore, is the daily newspaper. We've been featured in here many times. Business Times, international publication, we've been featured here. We are also on radio, so this is something that we're picked up on. And we're also on Channel News Asia. I believe you get Channel News Asia in Singapore. So we've hosted some things there. And here's our CEO looking like Darth Vader being interviewed with his black mask on. Okay, so this is something about our company, which I could talk about for hours. But I think you're more interested in the culture that we have, and what we've had from day one, when it was only 10 people and 40 people, is we have a very strong culture, and we have a very open culture as well. So if there's problems, we just put them on the table and we discuss them, and that's the best way to come to solutions with things. So we part of our interviewing process is we look very much at the personality of the person and whether that person actually fits into the culture of Genie Book. And we have a strong HR team that's pushing for keeping this culture alive. So we do a lot of, in our Surabaya office especially, we have a lot of pizza parties and days where we just chill out and relax and have a good time. And we play some games and kind of relax and rewind and de-stress. So that's been a very good culture that we have in our office. And this is what we believe in. One thing is transparency. So we're a startup, we're quite small. Transparency is really what's enabled us to grow. So we encourage open and honest conversations between, not just the top down, but also bottom up. So if you see something that's wrong, you can talk to your manager or your manager's manager, and that problem will be solved. We're transparent, and we try to keep flat as possible. Team members are given full autonomy to work in the way that maximizes their own efficiency. We really believe by management by objectives rather than micromanagement. So, and this is another thing that's really enabled us to grow fast. Depending on everyone's kind of appetite for work and what they want to do and what they want to achieve, and mostly I would say what you want to learn and what you want to get out of this company as an employee. Like what am I doing? Am I working on things that are going to help me grow? This is very core to our culture. Work-life balance, that goes without saying. We very rarely work on weekends. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen people working on weekends. So that's been good. And we try to stick to that. We work hard in the week, but we try to keep it inside there. And empowering. So we have competitions actually during our big team meetings, where we have a competition and anybody can participate. Like, how could we make life at Genie Book better, or how could the app be better, or how could we improve some of our processes? We always try to empower staff, and we give rewards and prizes for like the best idea for any of those things. So that's quite good about our culture. And that brings me to the main thing, is that we've grown incredibly. In fact, this chart is even old. We're at 300 people right now, and we are still growing. We need to grow to 500, I think, in the next year, which brings me to the positions that we actually have and we're actively employing for at the moment. So number one is a Android developer, and I believe that the platform is Kotlin, and it's everything that is required from an Android developer. This is based in our Surabaya office. We're building some new apps into Android. We're building things like chat apps, social apps, student reward systems, and we need some help with that on our Android side, as well as making our system work not just on mobiles, but on tablet devices. So, and I think as well, the descriptions for these ads, you know, we say knowledge of Android SDK, of course, OOP, yeah, of course, all of these things are given. But it's roughly what you bring to GenieBook and what you want to learn and what you want to work on. So we're quite platform agnostic in that sense. Python developer, at the heart of our system is based on AI and machine learning, and we need more developers for this. So if you're a budding Python developer and you want to get a career head start in machine learning, then GenieBook is a good place for you. We have a lot of models that have already been created, but we have a product roadmap that spans at least 2 or 3 years, and we want to do some really bleeding edge, state-of-the-art things with AI and see how far we can push AI to actually help students learn faster and better. We're looking for web developers. So web developer is more for our web apps. I think the description is like PHP, JavaScript, MySQL, and jQuery, but we don't stick at that. We're now looking into embracing new technologies for different parts of our system. And yeah, so we're looking for web developers. We are looking for quality assurance engineers. If you do have experience writing automated tests, that would be amazing. If that's something that you want to, you see yourself doing, is writing automated tests, doing unit tests, working with tools like Cucumber, Gherkin, Selenium, writing tests with that. We're looking for people for this. And we're looking for a technical writer to help document some of our database documentation, as well as support the team. So this is also quite an interesting position that we're applying for. And we are looking for, I think that the job title might be a bit misleading. It says database administrator, but we're essentially looking for database experts. I think there's a whole area of things that need to be done around our databases. So if databases is your thing, then we are happy to take your application. And that's the hard technical stuff. And we're also looking to get more people in our marketing team. So we have an advert for a graphic designer for our adverts. We do say I noticed a requirement when we're looking at minimum 3 to 5 years of graphic design experience. But I think with graphic design, it is very much depending on your portfolio and the style of work that you do and the kind of experience that you have with that. So we will still consider you, even if you have perhaps less experience than this, but you have a very strong portfolio, or if there's some alignment with what we do and what you would like to do. And again, in our marketing department as well, we're looking for a video editor. So we've recently moved into more of the online lessons and improving the content of our online lessons. So this is something that we are employing for. Yeah, and I think that's all from me. That's a very fast presentation. And I think we can possibly open up the floor for some questions.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Mark, for the wonderful presentation. I think it's a comprehensive and also effective one. So I think we invite all the participants to join us for a discussion session. So if you have any questions, you can put your questions on the chat box, or if you want to ask directly, kindly turn on your microphone. And I think we already had one question on the chat box, Mark. I think it's from Andrian.
Hi, I'm a fresh graduate from engineering major. So Randy is here as well. Randy is one of our engineering managers in GenieBook. So he's answering the questions in there.
Yeah, already answered. Would you like to add, Mark, for these questions?
Fresh graduate from engineering major. I think, we're looking for people everywhere. So we're looking for people, especially engineers. Most of our engineering team is in Surabaya. And we're definitely always looking for engineers there. So if you're a good engineer and you're a passionate engineer, we are looking for you. So we'll gladly accept your application. Yeah, and
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
I hope it answered the questions, Randy. So they're looking for the engineer as well. So don't worry, although you're a fresh graduate, but I think it will be beneficial for you to join this company as well. And yeah, we're still open.
If you do if you are an engineering major and you do have some programming background, it's good to create some personal projects and then showcase the fact that you have that programming skill and the good engineering skill and the mindset. That would really, really help. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry if I slightly misunderstood that question. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, we're still waiting and inviting all the participants to ask if they have any questions. So you can drop the questions on the chat, or you may directly ask the questions by turning on your microphone. It could be in bahasa Indonesia or it could be in English. Bisa jika ada pertanyaan boleh dalam bahasa Indonesia. So we are going to help you to deliver the questions. Atau bisa langsung dalam bahasa Inggris juga boleh. Silahkan jika ada pertanyaan dari rekan-rekan boleh di chat box atau bisa bertanya langsung melalui mikrofonnya. Silahkan dinyalakan mikrofonnya. So while waiting for the questions, so I think most of the job vacancy is in Surabaya. Is it the branch? The branch office is in Surabaya?
Yes, that's right. Wouldn't really call it a branch office. It is a fully functional office of Genie Book. So it's a registered company in Indonesia. Yeah, when you look for a legal standpoint, you have branch office and you have full office. So this is a full office.
Oh, this one is a full office. So due to this pandemic situation, so are they going to work online, virtually, or they work on site?
For Surabaya right now, we are 100% working from home. And we were doing that in Singapore until this week. And from now on in Singapore, we will do 2 days in office and 3 days work from home. But we always follow the government guideline or any information that comes out. But yes, safety of our employees is number one.
Yeah, sure. Okay, most of the workers are working from home. Yeah. Okay, I think we have a questions that already answered. Okay.
I see the question about the business intelligence analysts in the startup, and I believe Randy has answered that. But we do a lot of things. There's a lot of things we do with business intelligence. So one is looking at marketing data and looking at conversions and leads and looking at how can we improve our marketing funnels. The other one is very, very core to GenieBook is looking at student improvement data and looking at like how many students did some worksheets this week and did they improve? And if they didn't improve, then we need to talk with our data scientists, like how can we help them improve more? If they did improve, great. How can we help them to improve more? So there's that. And then there's all the other things that come with being a data analyst as well, which is trying to do predictive analytics.
Okay, so this one I think already answered by the GenieBook members, I think. Okay, so another question. Oh, okay, is there, should we have a specific, skills or experiences to apply for an IT engineer in GenieBook, or without any experience is acceptable?
Like I say, if you don't have experience for a role, and this is always the trouble, right? Is like we want people with many years experience. What is the joke? We want a a 25-year-old with 25 years of experience, right? That's ideal, but it's not always possible. And to get a head start, to actually get into a job, and I can say from my experience, but I actually graduated computer science very, very long time ago. And back then it's tough to get a job because you don't have experience, but you need experience to get a job, and then you need the job to get experience. So it's kind of a funny loop. But what I did back then, I would give this advice to anyone, is just work on your own projects. And then, best if you can start your own GitHub and then upload your code to GitHub. And then there are websites where you can do programming challenges. And it's good to go on those websites and do those programming challenges like coding gyms and the likes. And then get that experience of doing that. But put that somewhere where you can showcase it. It counts. Don't think because it's a personal project or it's because something you did online that doesn't really count. As an employer, you'll look at that, and then if the code that you're writing is good, we consider that, and there's an advantage actually because it looks to an employer that you're very passionate about this and you do this in your own time and you really want to learn more and more. So my advice, if you don't have the experience, is to kind of create your own experience, work on your own pet projects. Build websites, build small web apps. That really sets apart candidates.
Ya, oke. Aldi, tidak selalu harus selalu punya pengalaman tertentu, tapi it will be beneficial, akan lebih menguntungkan jika punya pengalaman terlebih dahulu ya. Tapi dari Genie Book sendiri, seperti yang sudah dijawab oleh Mbak Putri ya, untuk web developer, Python, dan QA juga boleh fresh graduate. Okay, next questions. Is there any limited age to apply for a job in Genie Book?
I don't think so. I don't know about the labor laws in Indonesia. I hope you're above 16 at least, or above legal working age. But there is no age limit. Yeah.
Oke, tidak ada ya. Siapa tadi yang bertanya? Dwi? Oke, tidak ada batasan. Legal age mungkin di Indonesia ya after graduate 18 or 20, ya 18 atau 20 bisa ya melamar pekerjaan di Genie Book. Yes, thank you Abdul Ghani. Yes, we need work to get experience, but we need experience to apply a job. That's true.
Yeah, that's what I just explained. So it's create your own experience. I have actually employed people in the past that did that. So they were graduates from other majors, but their true passion was programming. And then you could see that when they wanted to learn programming, so they went on to they started to use Laravel, and they signed up to Laracasts, and they watched all the videos and they followed the tutorials, and then they made all their own like small projects. They don't need to be massive things. And then it proves to the employer that this is your passion and this is what you do and you know how to do it. Yeah.
So is there an office in Jakarta? Is there any office in Jakarta?
Not for engineering. I believe we have a small sales office.
Sales office.
Yeah, but no engineering office in Jakarta right now.
Okay, so for the sales office, did you open a job vacancy as well, or only for the engineering one?
Only for engineering and marketing positions.
Okay. So the head office is in Singapore.
Yes, we have an office. Our main office is in Singapore. We have and it is our own kind of office in a way. I don't know how to explain that. It's in our we have a big part of a building that is all Genie book branded. It's actually a very lovely office here. Our office in Surabaya is also quite lovely. It's a very new building. We may grow too big and move out of there, but we'll find an equally as nice one. Yeah, and in Vietnam, I think we use WeWork there. So that's how our offices are. One day, I really hope when we finish, like COVID-19 finishes and it's gone forever, I hope we can allow our staff to move around offices. I don't think it will happen yet, but I'm really looking forward to going to Surabaya and working from there, as well as Vietnam. Yeah. So hopefully one day we will do that. We talk internally about allowing for that.
Yes. So is there any possibilities to get, to work in the head office, in the main office in Singapore?
If it's positions that are strictly to be in the main office in Singapore, then yes, but not at the moment, no, because of COVID-19. And there's quite a lot of restrictions on immigration at the moment. It's very, very hard to get the work permit for Singapore. But we'll see after COVID-19, if there's positions here, then yes.
Yes, we hope so. We really hope that this pandemic is going to over soon.
Yeah.
So next, I think we have another questions from Abdul Ghani. Is there any role for full-time remote work? You mean a specific role?
Right. For Indonesia, actually, we're all working from home at the moment, so it's actually full-time remote. But once the restrictions have eased up, I think we will do it like Singapore. It's still 2 days from office and 3 days from home. I think one thing we've all learned during this pandemic is working from home is good sometimes when you want to be productive and you're on your own. But we realized that the big ideas really happen in the office, and you go for lunch with your colleagues, right? And a lot of work gets done during lunch, right? You make friends and you talk about problems, and sometimes over lunch you can say, hey, how do I solve that bug? And another colleague may say, oh, I had this kind of bug before. You can do this and this. And we've realized a lot of work actually happens with that social interaction. So it'll be good in future to have a mix where, when we need to meet in the office, we meet and we talk about ideas and we plan things. But then when you really need to focus, you can be at home and focusing at home. Yeah. So to go back to the question, is there any role for full-time remote work? In short, no. But in long, we're all kind of remote anyway. So.
Okay.
Okay.
For now, it's not yet. Okay. Next we have. I think it's a good question. Helma, can you explain to us about what you see from Indonesian workforce? And what are the things that need to be improved by Indonesian workforce so that they can work in multinational company with good performance?
What a question! It's a really, really good question. Out of the scope of this, but I'll try to answer. What can I see from the Indonesian workforce? I think Indonesia is a very growing country, and I think in the next 10 years the workforce will be very, very strong there. I see a lot of young people who are very passionate about technology and learning, and they're bringing that into their work. And I think this can only be positive. So you get more people who are passionate, more people who are working, more people to bounce ideas off, and then more, the standard goes up and up and up. So it's a growing country in terms of tech skill. But it's not at stage zero. It's kind of, it's on the way. It started this trajectory now where there's a lot of young people who've gotten into technology, and the things that are coming out of Indonesia are quite fantastic. So that's good. What are the things that need to be improved so that they can work in multinational companies with good performance? The key thing, I mean, this is a no-brainer, right? Is English communication. But I'm surprised so far that the level of English for Indonesians coming out of university is fantastic. Yeah, I think that's really, really good. That's the key thing. One thing for success with multinational companies. So if you're you need to understand that maybe not just categorize it all as multinational, right? Because you have different countries. You have like a German company, or you have a British company or an American company, and each of these companies in countries, they have very different working styles, and they have very different levels of communication and openness. Like, and even even Singapore is the working style is quite different to Indonesia, and Malaysia is very different to Singapore. And I think to bulk every company and say it's a multinational is probably the wrong thing to do. Is to understand each country on its own and then approach it from that way. Yeah, it's an interesting question. And I think the best way is to make more friends with people from that country and try to learn about their country and what their passions are and what they see as a good performance. So, for some countries, it's the amount of ideas created. So if you're working for a multinational company that encourages idea creation, then you need to be very forthcoming with your ideas and don't be shy about the ideas. That's what I would say. Sorry, going deep into this question. I think back to what I was saying is Indonesia is a very young country in terms of this, the population, I mean, the age of people. They have a lot of very technically savvy people and a lot of good ideas, but sometimes perhaps can be shy to share those ideas, even if it's a bad idea. And this is every country. This is every country across. It's okay to share bad ideas in a multinational. And no one will think, oh, that lady is crazy because they have a bad idea. I think good ideas come out of bad ideas. So as you share more, somebody might hear that idea and think, okay, that doesn't quite work, but how about if we add these ideas to it? And the collaboration then happens. So I think not being shy about ideas is one thing, yeah. But that is any country, not just Indonesia. Yeah, I think it's more related to young people coming out of university, and they want to impress, and they don't want to be wrong.
Yes.
I think don't be afraid to be wrong, because being wrong is the first step to being right.
I see. So actually, I highlight one of the words. Actually, it's not a word, but two words about the English communications, because I saw on your presentations that most of the requirements you mentioned about the English skills, right?
Yeah.
For all the job vacancies. So should the participants like submit their English proof, or yeah?
It would be helpful. For the record, our Indonesian office, they communicate purely in Bahasa Indonesia and Javanese, but it is when sometimes communicating with the Singapore office, that's where the English requirement is needed, and communicating ideas and writing. We write the specifications in English mostly, so it's being able to read that and turn that into quality software. So that's where the English requirement is there.
So they need to submit the English records.
Yeah, it is helpful, I would say.
Yeah, okay, I see. So we have several questions here on the chat box from Randy. Would you able to share about office work hour and how we work between these three countries with different time zones?
Yeah, I mean, we're 1 hour ahead in Singapore.
Yeah.
So we actually start 1 hour ahead in Singapore. So in Singapore, we work 10 till 7. And then I believe in Indonesia, we work 9 till 6. So it matches the hours. So it's quite easy to do that. And Vietnam is not so much out. I don't know, Randy, what else would you like me to share about that? We use a lot of Zoom for communication, and we use Slack, and we communicate a lot over this. And Slack has reminders as well for us that say this person is in the wrong time zone right now, so they may not get your message. That's mostly how we communicate.
Okay, so from 10 a.m. Singapore time and until 7.
7 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Indonesia, it should be like 9 a.m. in Indonesian.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, we have from Reza. Can I ask again, how many times does it for recruitment? Maybe in a year, how many times did you open the job vacant?
We're recruiting all year round. So we don't really do in semesters or anything. So we're recruiting all year round. Yeah, so the answer to that is many times. 12 times, once per month.
Almost every month.
Yeah.
Okay. And from Rahadian, in the Singapore company, do you have to take this selection exam at the company? And for those who are above 23 years old, are they allowed to enter the company? I think you already answered about the age limitation.
Yeah, so there's no upper limit as well. So I think the question was about a lower limit and upper limit. There's no upper limit, but of course, you know, if you're like 70 years old, then please retire and enjoy life. But no, if you're 24, 25, of course we want you. Yeah.
Okay.
26, 27, 28. That's definitely, it doesn't stop.
Yes.
Is there a selection exam? It depends on the position. For programming, yes, there's a selection exam. It is usually computer-based or paper-based. I don't believe we're doing whiteboard exams yet. So it would be expected you would look at some code, you would debug it, and write some code. Yeah, and if it's a data analyst position, you would be given some data to look at and then and chop up, put into SQL, write some queries, produce some output and analyze that. And then what we usually do is when you come for the interview, you will present that as part of your interview, and then we'll ask questions about the work that you did. So it's quite a fair recruitment process, I think.
So there will be an interview as well.
Yes.
In the recruitment process.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we still have another questions from Andrian. In Indonesia, your competitor is like, we have this, what is it?
Ruang Guru and
Ruang Guru and Zenius. I think it's similar to the Genie book. And so what's your differentiation with that? Are you familiar with?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with very familiar with these companies. I think it's quite it with education. It's the same but different. And like I say, so GenieBook started from tuition centers, and it started from real schools, and we've always had the education as the core of the company. So what we see in education technologies is you get two kinds of companies. You get one kind of company that's started by educators and one kind of company that's started by technology people. And then they often go in very different trajectories. So what GenieBook is, we have a very strong education culture and a very strong curriculum team. And we have a very strong technology team. And we merged those together to make GenieBook, which is quite a powerful EdTech tool. And the major difference that we have on our competitors is the AI aspect and learning from students' weaknesses and students' mistakes and which questions help students to improve. And there is nothing quite like this on the market. for a few reasons. One is it's very intensive to actually do that and do that correct. And we've been doing this for very many years. Another reason is we actually have a patent on this for the use of machine learning in education technology systems. And yeah, I think the third reason is just the amount of data we have and the amount of questions that we have that makes it hard for competitors to do that. And I think the technology people don't quite understand it yet. And the education people, they understand it, but they don't know how to put this into technology. So Ruangguru do not have this, and Xenius do not have this. And I think we stand out because every education technology company out there, and there's many, they all talk about fun in learning. And it would be amazing if learning could be fun, but unfortunately, learning isn't always fun, and sometimes education and learning is difficult. And GenieBook is a company that can support that. So we don't really advertise fun as being our selling point. We advertise the serious work and the learning, and we focus very much on learning outcomes. But of course, some students do have fun when they do that, especially the social aspects, and especially when they learn something that they were struggling with before. We're not to say that's not fun, but we don't put fun first. So a lot of our competitors are competing on the fun aspect. And usually when parents, they sign up to this and they see their children having fun, but their grades are not improving in school, they then start to question, like, oh, is this the right tool to use? But with GenieBook, we back this with science and data. And we actually have some academic papers published that prove this. So how do we measure success? Number of students that have improved, that is our North Star metric. So the more students that we help to improve, the more goes into our North Star metric.
Okay, so most of the user of the GenieBook, in which country? I mean, in which country that most of the users use this GenieBook?
At the moment, it is Singapore. That's where we're based, and that's where we built our customer base. The number 2 country is Vietnam, and the number 3 countries are Indonesia and Malaysia.
Indonesia and Malaysia as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we still have time. I think I'm going to invite maybe 2 last questions from the participants. You can share the questions on the chat box, or maybe we can invite the participants who would like to ask directly to Mark. Yes, please. You can use the reaction with the, I think we have a raise hand on the reaction, so you can use that features, and you can turn on the microphone as well.
Okay. I see a question that just came through about the features that we already have. What kind of AI features or innovation in EdTech will help to improve student learning? So one of the things we launched this year was a different way of producing online lessons. So in our online lessons now, the teacher can ask a question and the students can respond with their devices. And at any time, the teacher can actually identify and learn what are the students' weaknesses in this class. So as the teacher is teaching, the teacher can self-reflect on, have I been teaching a good class? Are the students really understanding? Which is quite easy to do in a traditional classroom setting, but on an EdTech tool where you're teaching online, it can be sometimes difficult. So we're harnessing some machine learning on that. So as the students reply and as we learn about the answers that they give, the teacher can learn in real time from the machine learning. Should I slow down the pace of my teaching, or should I go faster? Because as well the students can be bored sometimes if you're teaching things that they already know. Our machine learning can tweak the teacher's lesson. So in a way, we call that an adaptive online lesson. So that is a feature that's coming up. And we have some other things in the pipeline, but they're company secrets right now. So that's a slimy way of avoiding the question, but it's, if I was to start explaining, they're quite cool. Yeah, use of AR, use of what we have for AI. There's some really cool things that we can be doing.
Mhm. I see. Okay, I think we can have one more last questions. Is there any other questions from the participants? So if they are interested to join Genie Book, they just need to submit all the requirements to this email, carry.id@geniebook.com.
That's right. Or you can also look at our LinkedIn page. So if you go to LinkedIn and you search for Genie Book, you'll find Genie Book there, and then you click on jobs and you'll see a big list of jobs advertised for our Surabaya office.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay, if there is no questions, maybe do you have a closing remarks before we end today's webinar?
I do. So I think when you're considering your next position, wherever it is, there's two things to look at. One is what are you going to learn during that position, which is a given for anything. But the other thing that I really like about working in education technology is who am I helping? So my background is many things. I've worked for law firms. And you think when you're working for a law firm, who are you helping? You're helping rich people sue other rich people. But when you're working with education technology, you have an end user, which is students. And I think we're doing really good things here with this, because as we see students getting excited that they got good grades in school, and then they link that back to Genie Book, and it's a very, very good feeling to be able to do that. So the impact on society, think about that as well when you're applying for jobs. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Mark Ashworth. So I hope you don't mind if there is a following up questions from the participant. Maybe the participants can contact you through this email,
Sure.
career.id@geniebook.com, or if you are interested to join the Genie Book or to apply for the position in a Genie Book, don't forget to submit all the requirements to this email, career.id@geniebook.com. So I'm going to, I think I already got the 3 winner, because before I told the participants that we have 3 door prizes. Oh, sorry, I think there is a follow up. Okay. That we have 3 door prizes for the participants. So we choose 3 names here. Congratulations for Adrian Arif, Reza Muhammad Aziz, and Dewi Desmeliana. Okay, so 3 of you can get 50,000 rupiah dalam bentuk saldo link aja ya, 50.000 rupiah. So you can call the admin on this number. So I'm going to share the number on the chat box. Untuk pemenang bisa silakan menghubungi admin di nomor yang akan saya share di chat box. So selamat sekali lagi untuk 3 pemenang. Andrian Arif, Reza Muhammad Aziz, dan juga Dewi Desmeliana mendapatkan 50.000 saldo link aja. Silakan menghubungi admin di nomor yang saya share di chat box. Once again, thank you so much, Mr. Mark Ashworth, for joining us today in Tel-U Virtual Career Day 2021. And also thank you for all the participants who joining us today. But before, I would like to ask you to fill out the survey and also the feedback link that we have shared on the chat box. We are going to share that link on the chat box soon. And on behalf of the committee, I would like to express my utmost gratitude to all the company, participating company, all the supporting companies and honorable speakers and also participants for joining us. So it's been our pleasure to host this event, and I wish you a very, very pleasant day. Good evening, afternoon, almost evening. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you so much. Thank you once again, Mark. Stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you very much, all. Stay safe,
Thank you,
stay
Mr.
healthy.
Mark.
Bye-bye.